Coming up on Virginia Currents, meet NASCAR driver Macy Causey, who doesn't let her youth or her gender downshift her drive, and see what drives this couple to rescue the four-legged senior citizens of peaceful passings, including 20-year-old Skipper. Also, be captivated by the unusual and beautiful sculptures of nature by Christine Harris on Daphne's Corner. Plus, the moving and playful music of band Bumper Jacksons, all next on Virginia Currents.
Tell me all your troubles underneath this mortal sky.
Welcome to Virginia Currents. I'm Daphne Maxwell-Reed. 8 years shy of getting her driver's license, Macy Causey was taking turns at 60 miles per hour and turning heads of the national press as an 8-year-old race car driver. Now, at the ripe old age of 16, Macy from Yorktown was listed in Sports Illustrated's Faces in the Crowd. Her accolades include receiving the 2016 NASCAR Young Racer Award, being Langley Speedway's Rookie of the Year, and being the youngest participant in NASCAR's Drive for Diversity's Combine program. She's a trailblazer like her grandmother, Diane Teal, who in the late 1970s was the first woman to win a NASCAR-sanctioned race. Driving the same number as her dad, Rhett Causey, Macy's need for speed runs deep in her DNA.
Being in the race car makes me super happy. As soon as I put my helmet on, nobody can really talk to me. I'm in my zone. I'm so focused on my tasks that I have on the track and kind of what I need to do that it all just kind of comes naturally and gets the job done. Going around the track, it's like an adrenaline rush. You're going fast, and any little thing that you do, it could be a huge mistake or you could win the race. I kind of grew up in racing and in a racing family. My mom and my dad both raced. It actually started off with my grandmother, Diane Teal. She was the first woman to win a NASCAR sanctioned race. My
wife's mother and I met on the racetrack, the same racetrack right here, actually racing against each other. As a kid, I grew up watching my wife's mom race at the same track and actually rooted against her just because back in the old days, you rooted for the good old boys. It was a good old boy type of system.
I was no different than anybody else out there. I mean, I just drove my car the best I could, and I didn't feel like I was women's lib or anything like this. I was just a driver. I just wanted to be a driver. I wanted to go fast, just like Macy wants to go fast, just like her mom or dad or any of the people out there racing now, you know. I was kind of a tomboy and was raised around this racetrack, even when it was called Dude Ranch a long time ago when I was a kid. So I've been around racing, and then my husband and Dale Lemons, which the Victory Lane is named after him, they had a race car together. My husband and him were partners, and that's how it all came about. Well, when I first started, they didn't particularly care for women racing. I was probably one of the first ones to race, especially here local, here at Langley. I had it kind of rough the first year. The second year was a whole lot different. They kind of got used to me. I became the first woman in NASCAR to hold a track title, and I became the first woman in NASCAR to ever win in late model sportsman in NASCAR. I started 19 races, finished 19 of them in the top 10, 16 in the top 5 with 3 wins. The next year I went to late model, which that's what Macy's running now.
8-year-old Macy was racing because mom and daddy liked racing. 8-year-old Macy raced because mom and daddy liked it, and 8-year-old Macy wanted mommy and daddy's attention, and we knew that. As she got older, during that period when she was 8 and 9, she had a magnificent opportunity with Max Siegel, the owner of the team that she races for now, to go to North Carolina and potentially race for his team at a young age. And as a family, we turned down that opportunity because had we gone down there, it would have been our decision for her to pick up and move her to North Carolina with us, our decision for her to race. It wouldn't have been what Macy wanted. So we politely said no, and then 8 years later, We're back here, and this time it's on Macy's terms, Macy's decision.
But Macy just has natural ability, I'll clue you. She has natural ability. She will make it. And I think NASCAR picked up on that because she's in the diversity program.
NASCAR came in roughly about 10 years ago and took a look at their sport, and the sport had grown really big, but it didn't grow diverse as it grew over the years. And NASCAR decided that, you know, we need to promote diversity in the sport, just like when you go in your community or in your 7-Eleven or in your local stores. You want to see the same diversity at the racetrack as other places that you go. So they set up this, or created a diversity program where they would encourage and financially promote youth that are talented enough, give them an opportunity that these youth may not ordinarily have. So the point was, if you're good enough, we'll financially back you, give you the right opportunities to make it to the elite levels of NASCAR. And Macy was one of the ones selected in that program this year.
You have 100 to 200 people that apply every year for this program, and you only get 20 people that get invited, and then from those 20 people, only 6 make it into the program every year. So just being in this program has already offered a lot for me and my future. Rev Racing, what they provide, the resources that they have, it's an extremely great program.
For a 16-year-old to leave home, leave her family that loves her, and go live with another family 5 hours away, it's pretty tough on a 16-year-old. But Macy wants it bad enough, she will get it. She's that way. She's a very smart kid.
20 years later, or 30 years later, here we are sitting here watching her granddaughter and watching the fans, and now the fans have come full circle as a result of the things that Diane did, her mom did, and all the other women in NASCAR. So she has so many supporters wanting to see her make it. It's a really cool deal.
A lot of people let negativity get to them and what they say about females in the sport. Waking up in the morning and you have to do your hair and your makeup to come to the track, and all these men just get up and come to the track. But as far as some of the negativity, the only things that I've really came across is some people during meet and greets, they have came up to me and told me some negative things right before I'm about to get in a race car and go 120 miles an hour. People always telling me that I can't do it, and here I am just still making my way and making marks. There's been plenty of people in the sport, females, that have laid down a really extremely good path, and that's kind of how I make those negativity things go away. I kind of look up to my grandmother and some of the other people that have laid down a path in the sport.
Macy Causey now, Seaford, 16 years old.
If you really want to race and your heart is dedicated to it, you can most definitely do it, no matter what anybody says. So you just got to think about the positive things that will come out of it. It's never really been the fact that I've been doing it just because my grandma did it and my mom did it. It's definitely more because I wanted to do it. I'm definitely doing it for myself, and because my heart is dedicated to racing, and it's definitely what I want to do for the rest of my life.
I can't wait to see the role model she becomes, to see her develop into the young person she's developing into right now. Makes me extremely proud, very proud.
Macy, who is homeschooled, hopes to one day major in engineering in college to help her succeed on and off the track. For more on Macy, check out gomacy.com. For dogs 6 and over, their need to give and receive love is just as strong as it is when they were younger. But often they're passed over by people looking to adopt. To help animal shelters avoid euthanizing older unadopted dogs is Peaceful Passings, one of just 3 senior dog rescue groups in Virginia. Along with her husband, Dr. Jackie Myers cares for about 26 senior dogs in their Fluvanna County home. She retired early as a counselor for at-risk youth to keep up with the constant demands of the rescue and her free grief counseling she gives over the phone for dog owners who have lost their pets. Peaceful Passings proves age is just a state of mind.
There's animals that just will never have a chance, and those are the animals we usually step up for. In other words, a shelter will not put them on the adoption floor because they're seniors. Our mission is to save senior dogs. Our vision is a world where no animal is euthanized because of age or medical challenge when a quality of life exists.
Peaceful Passings is different from most of the other rescues you'll find in that we do concentrate on a population of senior, medically needy, special needs, and hospice dogs.
Careful there, Skipper.
We get a lot of people come here knowing that it's a senior and special needs rescue and it's named Peaceful Passings, and they say, oh my God, the dogs are so healthy, the dogs are so active.
The Skipper here is 20. We have a 19-year-old Jack Russell in the house. We have, in a good day, 13 to 16 in the house, and we have capacity for 8 in our outdoor shelters where we put our larger dogs, except for a German Shepherd that lives in the house. Patch was found on the streets of Harrisonburg, and he was severely emaciated and had major medical issues. He was actually found by Virginia German Shepherd Rescue, and we have someone locally that works with them. And that person took Patch and totally rehabilitated him.
His unique role where he can understand that a new animal that comes in here is under some sort of stress or having some challenges with adapting, and somehow convey to that animal that it's okay to be here, that this is a good place, and bring comfort to them.
Gonna go across the bridge?
We are both volunteers. It's for the love of these little critters here that to try and help the folks who are doing the really hard work for them have an easier time of it.
It's just rewarding to be able to help. Every little thing helps them.
Do you want to come over for some love? Yeah.
Everybody here has a story.
Dolly's totally blind. She gets around just like a sighted dog. But the reason they can do that is because of what's called mind mapping. We have essential oils in different smells. And then we put one dab just above the water bowl. We put another one by the front door so that they go to that smell and they know what to associate with it. You do it once a day for like 2 or 3 days. And their mind mapping records that, and then they have that as part of their knowledge base. We can always, we're never too old to learn things. No.
Diamond, you're going to be a star, Diamond. Her parents were field trial champions. When she had the spinal injury, he was going to euthanize her because she was of no use to him.
And he developed 5 exercises for her and did them every day, and then took her for acupuncture and hydrotherapy, and that's how she got to the point where she could stand and walk. So our vet says you can't put her in a wheelchair because if in a wheelchair they lose all muscle. We're trying to preserve her muscle tone as much as possible. She has an option of standing and walking, and of course if she ever gets to the point where she can't, then we've got 3 wheelchairs and drag bags and all kinds of stuff for handicapped animals. We always say that you have to look at what's going right. You can't just look at an animal and say, oh, that dog can't see, that dog can't hear, that dog can't do this. You have to look at what can they do. And so they learn to maximize one sense and not worry about the one they lost. Come here, no, you went out.
The dogs are like little children that never grow up. The dog's requirements are constant 7 days a week.
Feedings take for the indoors a little over an hour. We have 3 feeding stations, and everybody pretty much knows what feeding station they go to and who's first, second, third at that feeding station. With breakfast, we do medications. We do the diabetic dogs, their injections. There's eye medications, sometimes ear medications. And then I do the outdoor animals, and you do poop scooping, and you feed them and give them some love and care and spend some time with them, and then come in, clean all the food bowls, do laundry, check all the crates, make sure there were no accidents overnight. That creates the laundry. There are dogs that bark to go out at cuckoo hours, like 3 a.m. Rosie always has to go exactly 4:19 in the morning. Every morning she will bark at 4:19. Cutting nails, brushing a dog.
We can't go away together. So we go away individually, but even to have an evening in town, it requires planning and organization. So, yeah.
There's no such thing as a day off. And I don't have the luxury to say I can't do this anymore because I don't have a staff. We're an all-volunteer organization, so there's no paid positions.
So I designed and built a group of shelters, and the shelters have lighting, they have pound heaters and pressure-sensitive heat pads for winter, for the very cold weather. We have heated bowls of water, and you'll see that we now have tarps on the sides. In the cold weather, we have the padding that we add to the tarps. In the summer, they have ceiling fans. So here's one of the closed-circuit cameras.
We could check it on our cell phone and see what the dogs were doing.
Sadie, it's too loud. So we have one walking path that's a semicircle that goes through the woods. And what we do is, as animals die, we bury them here, we give them respect, and we put a grave marker. And over the 10 or 12 years that we've been doing this, we've buried, you'll see, about 40 dogs, I think.
For every single one that passes, I cry profusely.
It's hard every time. It's hard. It's a quality of life decision, and you watch and wait and do what's appropriate. But yeah, it's emotionally wrenching every time.
But you move on because they need you?
Well, because it's part of what we do.
But when these animals pass, I believe that they release a spirit to the world also. That spirit can be a troubled spirit, or that can be a peaceful spirit. I think that when they are at peace, they've been taken care of, they have all the nurturing that they need, that the world becomes better because of the positive energy. In our times of stress, I have many, many beings that are watching over us and taking care of us. It's difficult, except that I know that none of these animals would be alive if it wasn't for this rescue. I know that there are people that would never consider taking in a hospice animal. So when they pass, we know we've given them the best life they possibly could have. And there's a satisfaction in that, and there's a peace in that, and there's hope. And that's why we continue to do the work we do.
They are grateful, and that's a tremendously rewarding thing.
You know, there's this song, he put the load right on me, and it's very true. You feel the burden, you feel the weight, but the rewards are tremendous.
If you would like to adopt, donate, or help out, visit peacefulpassings.org. They offer training in caring for a senior animal and even have a small cabin to accommodate those long-distance travelers. Welcome to Daphne's Corner. Today's guest is sculptor Christine Harris. Christine creates eye-catching sculptures with her imaginative combination of fantasy and nature. She earned a Master's of Science degree in art therapy and has been featured in publications like Polymer Arts Magazine, Art Doll Quarterly, and Distinction Magazine. Her award-winning art has debuted in art galleries along the East Coast and was featured on WHRO's The Scene. Christine joins us now. Welcome, Christine.
Thank you.
Start by telling us how you got started sculpting.
I don't remember a time when I didn't sculpt. Even as a young child, I would build things out of rocks and twigs and moss and go crazy and build little villages for my Star Wars people. So honestly, there's not a time that I can recall that I didn't do it.
So is that why nature seems to be incorporated in what you do now?
Oh, definitely. Nature's interwoven in all my work because I love nature. I feel very connected to nature, and I really want people to be excited about nature the same way I am. So I try to present it in a little bit of different way that you're used to seeing, so that maybe you want to go outside and see it for yourself and develop your own appreciation for it.
Wonderful. And it seems like your sculptures have a combination of beauty and darkness.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the contrast that exists there.
I know it seems like it's a contrast, but to me, it's not a contrast. To me, that they're tied together. They're like kind of a continuum. My first experiences were in seeing art were at a graveyard. It's called Elmwood Cemetery in Norfolk, Virginia. And every Sunday, my family would go to the graveyard to see my great-grandfather. And I would, being the ADD kid I was, I would just run around the graveyard. And then I developed a real appreciation because there were these beautiful sculptures. I mean, it has this very elegant, beautiful sculpture there. It's, a cemetery, but it does have that, even like an Egyptian kind of area. And I just loved it. And in combination with that, they have all these big, beautiful trees and all this beautiful plant life. So I got like all of this. And then, I started to think about it, and I was like, well, there's dead people down there. But there's this beautiful tree that has grown over this dead person. So I kind of got like this connection between like decay and then nature, and something beautiful can grow from decay.
And the circle that is life.
The circle of life, like, birth, death, life.
Wonderful. Will you tell us a little bit about the few pieces that you brought here today?
Sure.
This one in the back.
That's called Magicada. It's about, there's a kind of cicada that comes out every 13 years.
Yes.
And they're beautiful.
Noisy.
And I love that sound. Oh, I love it. But anyways, I think they're so beautiful, and what they do is, it's not always good for trees, and there was a problem in the past. They'll eat all the leaves up, and of course, trees need leaves.
Yeah.
So I tried to represent that, but I also think they're part of that cycle. If you look down, there's some tiny little skulls, and that she's actually grown up out of these roots with these tiny little skulls to make this beautiful flowers and leaves, and then there's these cicadas going crazy on her. So.
Well, this lady's got a bird helmet on her head.
She does. So she's trying to be a bird, but she's not a bird. She's trying to be something that she is not. But while all this is going on, she's looking in the mirror and trying to be this thing that she's not. But all this internal things are going on.
You've got twins up there on the top of that one?
Yeah, they're like conjoined twins. It's called long division. So
long division.
Yeah,
Talk to me about that.
They're conjoined, so they're together for life. It's pretty heavy in symbolism. I'm really into comparative mythology, and what that is it's throughout the time that humans have been on this planet, we've had this, very similar myths and stories in religion, and it's like the egg is a symbol that appears frequently. The evil eye, or the eye, appeals over cultures frequently. Skulls, obviously. I have a lot of heavy symbolism in me being an art therapist. A lot of our background is symbolism, comparative mythology, psychology, so that's something I'm really interested in. I think that it ties us together as human beings.
Well, it is very, very well done. It's beautifully sculpted. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Daphne.
And to see more of Christine's art, go to ChristineKHarris.com. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, come on, you Virginia gals, and listen to my noise. Don't you go courting no boys. If you
Our spotlight on Virginia music shines on Bumper Jacksons from Northern Virginia.
gather round, everybody.
This unique band takes listeners on a musical journey through country swing, Americana hits, 1930s jazz, and big band blues. Bumper Jacksons was honored as the region's 2015 Artist of the Year and Best Folk Band at the Washington Area Music Awards. They offer educational workshops and even teach you how to play the washboard that one of the band members makes by hand. Here now is a clip of I've Never Met a Stranger from their new album. The video shows the band performing on top of bike taxis in D.C. as they're followed by 60 pedaling fans. Thanks for watching Virginia Currents. Join us next time for more inspiring stories. I'm Daphne Maxwell Reid.
rain.